Welcome to our tutorial. In this lesson we actually demonstrate. In this tutorial we will actually demonstrate how to control the page flow in JSF based applications and how to control the page flow dynamically, not statically. Actually the page flow can be of two different forms: static, that when you click the button or link it will always go to the same page, or dynamically, whenever you click a page, click a link or button, it will go to a different page based on the situations. Actually I also have provided a article or key points in page navigation in my web page. Maybe we can better take a look at that and go through. So this is the article, controlling page navigation in JSF. I think how to reach to this article: copy this and search here. So search with the term controlling page navigation in JSF. So here we see, to understand this you need to read and watch the video tutorials for the JSF lessons 1 and 2. And we are also telling that the navigation can be of two types: static navigation and dynamic navigation. Static, the page destination page will be always the same. Better we can show you an example. Okay, this is the example from our lessons 2. Here this search button, it is always going to a fixed destination page, that is search results.jsp. If you click here it will always come here. Whatever value you give here, irrespective of that, it will always come here. This is called static page navigation. And how to define this static page navigation? This is actually defined in the faces config.xml file. We see in this application we just demonstrated, we see that we defined a page navigation. Here we are telling from view id search form.jsp. It is the file from where the action will be generated, and when the outcome will be submit, it will be to view id search results.jsp. The destination page will be search results.jsp. It is just fixed, and from this page to this page the action message is submit, and we see this is some static, there is no other alternatives to it. So what is dynamic page navigation? We are just telling in this case the destination page can vary based on user input or based on the situation. It depends on you in what event you want to make the destination page different. And we can also define this dynamic nature in the same faces config.xml file. Better we demonstrate an example, then we will go there. Not this one. Okay, this is our navigation control demo. Here if you search 1111 arbitrary stuff, if you click, it is telling that no trip that match your search parameter were found. So it is just going to a page no trips.jsp. But if we provide Winnipeg and Dhaka 11 search, it is going to a different page. So based on whatever you give input in the first page, it can go to the no trip found page or just what kind of trip it found. Actually, in our example, we have predefined the trip to be 133 and 233. If the user puts WPG in the origin and DHK in the destination, we always come here. So in new search, it will initiate the page again. So you see, based on the input, it's going to the no trip or some pre-selected trip. How we defined this dynamic nature? It is also defined in the faces config.xml. Actually, in previous methods, these things were done by coding. You could write some if then conditions in your servlet or in your JSP pages, and then you could redirect. But here we are using XML based configuration, and it's convenient in many ways. It provides some greater flexibility in management and update for the existing applications. So we just see how this dynamicity was created. So we see from view ID the source space. If the action message is success, it will be going to search results.jsp, and it is telling from outcome when the action message is no trips, it will always go to no trips.jsp. See, we have omitted the from view ID. Okay, I think this from view ID, it applies to this and this both. Based on the action message success, it is going here. Based on the success message no trips, it is going no trips.jsp. And here we are telling if the action is generated from this web page, search results.jsp, and if the action message is select, it will be going to the selected trip.jsp. So the thing is, based on our action, we will dynamically generate these action messages, either success or no trips or select, and based on the action message, it will go to the corresponding page. So come to our article page. Okay, I'm just making the font bigger. The website looks odd, but you'll be able to read the contents. So here we are telling at this point that the static or dynamic navigation that is done through the faces config.xml file. And this is just one of the example that just one static. It is originating from here. If it is always submit, it is going there. And dynamic navigation, I think we actually covered this topic. And here we are telling that if it is success, it is coming here. It is no trips, it is coming there. And how to define these navigation rules, we just told a bit, but some additional rules will be found here. We see that form view ID, it is the source JSP base. Form outcome, it is the action message based on which the control flow will be operated. This is the destination to view ID, destination web page. Another thing is form view ID, it is an optional thing. If you mention it, the action has to be generated from here. If you don't mention it, all the actions generated with the action message will be redirected to the same page. Just for here we see we omitted form view ID, but we are telling that the from outcome is is privacy policy. So whenever the action message is privacy policy, it will always go to this webinf privacy.jsp file. It is dependent on the total application. Sometimes if you want to group a particular group of pages to go to the same destination page irrespective of their source, then you can use some wildcard star. Just you are telling when the form BOT, when the source is always one of the pages under the order folder, the destination will be always webinf invoice.jsp, provided that the action message is success. Okay, so here one thing we have to mention that we are telling when the access message is success, it is going there. When the access message is privacy policy, it is going there. So okay, I think before going to this area, we need to define a little more. We need to discuss something else. So first take a look in the static navigation control in the search form.jsp. It is the first interface that the application displays. Right. In the action, we just provided submit. This submit is the action message, and from here we see that this submit action message is leading to search results.jsp. But in case of dynamic navigation control, I think this action, it is not a static message or a static fellow. It is also defined through the properties of a managed bean. Actually, it can be mapped to both the property or the method of a managed bean. We see that it is mapped to a bus managed bean search method. So whenever we click the submit button or search button, that managed beans search method will be called, and that method has to return a string. That will be the action message, and based on that action message the propagation will be done. Actually, in our case, if we see that the source, we know that this bus managed main is really indicating to bus search.java. We need to, if we check your previous demonstration, this will be clear. So we see that this is search. It is returning either no trips or success. We are telling if the origin is Winnipeg and the destination is DHK Dhaka, so it returns success, otherwise it returns no trips. So from our search form, bus.search is called, so this method will be called, and if the outcome is success, then the destination will be this page, search results. But if the outcome is no trips, the destination page will be notrips.jsp. And another thing we have to notice that from the interface we are referring to bus.search, it can return success or no trips or anything, and this same page may have multiple actions, and each of them may call different methods like bus.search or bus.reset or bus.save. Each of the method may return the similar action message, success or error, So in that case, faces config.xml file will get confused because we have mentioned the form view ID from the same source. The action message is success, same, and the outcome is search results.jsp. But if we have three different forms with three different actions like this, maybe we want three different destination pages. But in faces config file, if we mention that origin is search for action message is success and destination is search results.jsp, and if both of the three methods return success, then we don't know where it will go, or everything will end up here. But if we want them to end up in different destination web pages, there is a way to support that. I think this is the rule that addresses that issue. So we are telling that if the form action is this, and if the action message is success, then it will go to this page. But if the action is bus save, if it calls the bus save method in our case, or maybe a property save, based on the action message success, it will go to there. So this form action, it is actually making the difference. So we know from the same form view ID, from the same originating page, we can have the same action message from different method, and in that case for different method we can redirect to different destination pages. So we can referring to the search form.jsp here, this is the search results.jsp here, and in our case we already saw that there is a success here from that page, and here we are telling from any of the sources, as we are not mentioning form view ID, if the action message is success from bus.reset method, then it will go to search form.jsp, just our initial web page. Okay, so I think I have covered most of the topics as described for this article. Now I can demonstrate the application more. At this point I will actually demonstrate the example application in details. First of all, I will explain the existing application, and from there I will show the steps to create the exact same new application. It will make some better sense. So first I am just creating a folder for our new application, just navigation demo, and from Eclipse I am opening that project, just the folder at this moment, navigation demo. You can actually do it in the same way, in a just normal file creation and those kind of stuff, or using textpad or notepad. It's not must that you have to use Eclipse. It is just I created the folder, I'm just bringing it back to Eclipse. So what is the directory structure? We know that there will be some folder called webinf, so under webinf there will be folder liv, and another new folder for classes, and we can also make another folder for source. Actually in Eclipse we will keep all of our source and Java files in SRC folder, and after compiling they will go into the classes folder. But if you do it in the manual ways, you can keep all your Java files under the classes and compile them and deploy in that way. You can also remove the Java files from classes folder, or you can still create the source folder and create the Java files there, and then after compilation you can put the class files in the classes folder. In that case you don't need to deploy the source SRC folder to the Tomcat web server. So initially we'll create in the nav demo new file, let index.jsp. So your navigation control demo, just will explain step by step, and we'll also create just pasting it here. So we see that it is redirecting it to search from.faces, and actually we also need the web.xml file. It should be under web.inf. So in web.inf file we will mention some basic configuration as we also described in our past. We are just telling the welcome file will be index.jsp at the root, and we are telling file extension should be star.faces, and this class faces servlet will be in the background to handle all the control flow and this kind of stuffs. So this index.jsp is there, and we know that it is going to search from that faces, that is actually search from.jsp. So this is here. Okay, so this is the usual interface, and okay, this is this interface. There will be some selection box, some text box, and some radio box, and these are the selection box. So this is the radio messages, and we are telling okay, actually here we are mentioning that it is of bus.trip type, and in the faces config you will see that this bus managed ban is created and initialized to two-way trip or one-way trip, so it will get values from there. And this is the other text fields and those kind of stuffs here, and all of them are mapped to the managed bin corresponding properties, and it will actually set these values to managed bin. And the main thing is we have to notice here bus.search, it is not a static thing, it is a dynamically referring to the bus bins search method. So we know that this bus search.java, this is the bin that is referred to as the bus. So I'm just pasting it under the SRC. So we see it just have some properties: origin, destination, departed, return date, trip type, trip num, and many of the stuffs. And so for each of them there will be get method and set method. In addition to them there will be some reset, where all the properties are set to blank. There is search method. This is called from the form section, and this is the get matching trip. Actually, in our case, we just created manually some predefined matching trips, but in search we're displaying those, we're telling when the original destination is like this, we are showing that they are matched or not. And actually, after this, we defined this bus managed bin in the faces config.xml file. So we see from here faces config, it should be under webinf. So we see that we are defining the bus managed bin here, and we are referring to that class, and the scope is session, so throughout the application it will be recognized. And we are assigning matching trips to some trip type, and we are assigning trip 1 and trip 2. So we are telling bus managed bin has a matching trips, and it provides two type of trips, trip 1 and trip 2. And we see that trip 1 it is of JSF trip type, and it is of trip 2 is another trip type. So there are one more Java bins we see here. So there's the trip.java that the bus Java is using. So we are just copying and pasting it here. Now, and I think we also need some data holder managed bin. Just we are telling this is the time holder managed bin. So it will be coming from bustimes.java. So here this is the data holder managed bin, and it is containing these corresponding values here. And here actually in the bus search.java, or sorry, in the faces config, we see that bus managed bin is initialized with two trip type of variable. And actually here we see that we have defined all the navigation rules from this search form.jsp. If the action message is success, it is going there. If it is no trip, it is going there. And from the search result.jsp, if the action message is select, it will be going there. Actually, where we can say this thing, so let whatever that we have provided Winnipeg, Dhaka 1 1. So if we click on this, select this trip or select this trip. So if we click on this, the action message will be the select, and it will lead it to the selected flights.jsp. That thing is defined here. From the search results, if the action message is select, it will go to selected trip.jsp. So this is the selected trip.jsp. Now if you click on new search, actually we'll be pointing to the bus.reset, that is success from bus.reset, and it will go to the initial page that we mentioned here, bus.reset. It will be success, and it will go to search from.jsp. Actually, if we see the search result, your setting is bus.reset. So this is the actually that search result ultimately came to selected trip. From there we came here. So this is the one. If we click on new search, and actually what we are telling, from any page of the, if we go to the faces, we did not mention the fund view IDs. So from any page, if the action is bus.reset, and if the action message is success, it will go to the search form.jsp. So here's the bus.reset, and from the bus search we see that reset always returns success, so it will always go to search form.jsp. So we click here, it goes to the search form.jsp again. Okay, this selected trip, so whenever we provide Winnipeg and DHK, it is just telling that, okay, no, sorry, after that instance, just here, so from here if we click select this trip, it will go to that selected trip.jsp. So if we select them from search results.jsp, it will get select action message and it will be redirected to selected trip.jsp. So if we click here, we get the action message select and it goes to selected trip.jsp. If we click here, bus.reset is called and it returns success and it goes to search form.faces. I think this should be good enough to understand the application. We can just compile it and deploy it under Tomcat. Okay, now we can try to compile it. For the purpose, I'm just copying again the build.xml file, paste it here. You can actually use that j2ee command, that will also work. So the project name, nav demo, default, just compile will be good enough. We really don't need this. Okay, it's better to keep the comments. So we are telling the source directory is the web-inf source, that is here, and the build directory, destination directory is classes, and this is the compile, just source directory, build directory, and it is running the j2ee command. So let's see how things go. Too many errors. Okay, the thing is we also need to provide the library files. So in one of our example we displayed where to collect those library files. So there are some JSF core library files and JSF HTML tag library files, and if if we start with our blank application from the beginning, and there will be some these commons related jar files, and these are some JSF, and these are some standard. Anyway, okay, this is not really here. So refresh the application. So the build is successful. We can just copy this and paste it under Tomcat. We could actually create a war file through the ant, and the deployment can also be done through ant. I think we see that there is a portion of war file creation. We may have to adjust a bit for this application, and then we can also deploy the application under Tomcat using this, calling this deploy. One thing can be main, then clean preparation, compile, war, deploy. I'm not going that way, just do it yourself. So I'm deploying under C, industrial programs, Java platform, Tomcat 6, web apps. Okay, I will just restart Tomcat. For Tomcat, it's kind of required. Start. So we can start here. Actually, this is one of the message bin. It indicates travel types, one-way travel or two-way travel. We defined in the JSF, but we did not copy it here, I think. Travel types.java, yes. So we need to compile again. And what is in the travel types? We are defining the round trip or one-way trip. And in phases config, this is the times bin that is referring to this. No, not this one, this types, travel types. And from search form, we are also making use of it. Okay, not from here, but from bus managed bin inside. Anyway, just take a look at this. Okay, we'll just copy it to there. Stop the service. we see it here. So it will return success from the buzz.search, and it will go to the search results with the success action message. If we click here, it will go to the action message will be select and selected trips. Click new search. Is calling buzz.reset and it is returning success. So it is going back to there. I think this should be good enough to understand it.